It might be a simple frame of scrap lumber, the walls, just sheets and blankets to block the cool fall air, the roof, branches. At this time of year, you may see Jewish people creatively building these makeshift huts in their backyards. You can use almost anything to build them. No two Sukkot will look the same. A lot of Jewish festivals are very family-friendly and fun. After all, who doesn't like building a fort? Inside these impermanent huts, tables are set, nice meals are eaten, guests are welcome, and some will even sleep there. There are two ways to interpret this 7-day festival called Sukkot. Sukkot literally means booths or tabernacles, non-permanent habitations. The holiday has ancient Canaan roots. Makeshift shelters were constructed out near the fields during the harvest. Sukkot is the celebration of the harvest. Sukkot is also associated with the Exodus story, when the Israelites were wandering through the desert and their homes were not permanent. So the sukkah is a fragile structure that symbolizes the wandering fragility of life. I invite you now to imagine with me that there are two rabbis. Each one celebrates Sukkot differently. One looks at it purely as a harvest festival and has gratitude for the abundance of earth's blessing. For the second rabbi, Sukkot is a reminder of how Israelites disobeyed the Blessed One and had to wander through the desert for 40 years before they could enter the Promised Land. Each way is legitimate. Both rabbis serve the same synagogue. They are not in conflict with each other. In fact, the more they rely on each other's take on things, the better off they are. Now follow me further. Each one of the rabbis are within you. Now, a rabbi literally means teacher, someone who has studied and can interpret what God's ancient ways mean for us today. Within each of us are these two teachers. The first celebrates Sukkot as a harvest festival, is more attuned to the land and connected to the rhythms of change, living in the present moment. They can be compulsive at times. Occasionally they will get caught up in something and forget about time and their responsibilities as a rabbi. This rabbi makes a good storyteller and will make an ordinary story funny by embellishing the facts. They listen to the wisdom of the body and celebrate the cycles unfolding all around us, observing who we are in the autumn of life. The second rabbi that celebrates Sukkot by commemorating the Israelites wandering is highly educated and a master of interpretation. For the most part, this rabbi is controlled. Having seriously studied for many years, they developed their ability to reason and think really, really big thoughts. This rabbi sets intentions, makes plans, and gets things done. With a clear sense of the past and the future, they think they are in charge. Self-controlled and successful at meeting the goals and demands of the synagogue, this second rabbi celebrates the past by recognizing and remembering the ancestors. Each rabbi is fine and good in their own way. When it comes to relationships, the first and more intuitive rabbi is a natural at reading people, but often lets people walk all over them. Plus, They get angry really easily. The more rational rabbi regularly sets clear expectations and boundaries with people. The first rabbi is more automatic and effortless, and quickly answers with their innate skills, biased, yes, at times, mistake-prone, sure, but smooth and attuned to the golden red leaves of now. The second rabbi is more reflective. All this conscious reasoning takes mental energy, so they're much slower to come to their conclusions. To make decisions, they rely on deeply held values and beliefs. The second rabbi is better at math and balancing budgets, while the other has a deeper passion for justice. Remember, each of these teachers are within you. And in order to run a successful synagogue, they need each other. Wisdom is found in the balance and in the awareness of each other. Always remaining in relationship, there is no domination, nor any need to surrender to each other. Two good teachers learning from each other become great teachers. We are invited to integrate the rabbis into a democracy of consciousness. The harvest-celebrating rabbi trusts their instincts and makes fast decisions, sometimes biased to what happened most recently. But the rabbi who celebrates Sukkot's relationship to the Exodus stories knows that the most recent things will seem more important than something from last year, even though things from last year are really, really important. They are more careful and want to look at all the sides of every story. We have this ability to reason, and we have these gut feelings. Which rabbi will we teach to choose us when we have to answer how to live, where we are going to live, which house we're going to buy, and for how much? Which people will we identify with and share life with? The more complex an issue, we can let our unconscious rabbi decide after the other studies all the data and information they can. Then sit on it. Defer making decision for a while. Go for a long walk. Let your mind wander in the desert. Do something else. At some point, we may get the feeling of the right decision. And then we are ready for the harvest. We must rely on both rabbis because individually they are limited. One can only hold so many thoughts, the other just too compulsive. Together, they are master teachers. Each of us is the synagogue, and within us, we each have two rabbis. We emerge from these different aspects. We are blending together from our connections and our parts. There, in the in-between, there is a mysterious balance we don't quite understand, an eternal cycle. We flourish when the two rabbis are in dialogue with each other and aware of each other. In the ongoing process of reflective cognition and feeling the wisdom in our very own bodies. Culturally embedded and influenced by all that is around us, the two rabbis teach us to be who we truly are. Who we are and how we are in the world depends on these two rabbis and how they interact with each other. Our task is to listen to the wisdom of both of them, the felt sensations and blended with conscious awareness. Perhaps it is best to use the first rabbi with friends and family. When we are in situations with people that are different than us, perhaps we can lean to the second rabbi of reason, who will reduce our biases. The two rabbis are not on opposite sides of an unbridgeable canyon. They are both part of a mystical cycle we don't quite understand and don't know the origins of. They come and they go. We learn a new skill with the help of the second rabbi. When things become more automatic, the first rabbi takes over. When we integrate the automatic with conscious attention, we arrive in the land of promise and harvest the fruit of the season. It takes hard work and discipline to cultivate the connection between the two rabbis. But then our big decisions about the house we buy or don't, and the partner we live with or don't, become effortless in our aliveness. Our concerns get absorbed into the moment, expanded into the mystical cycles of becoming. This work of examining and integrating each rabbi is not always easy, but we won't feel good when the rabbis are not communicating with each other. So dance the ongoing cycle, a live and dynamic relationship between the different aspects of who we are. We are powerless over much of life. We wobble back and forth, but do not have to fall down. When tired, we rest. When thirsty, we drink. Be moved by things that are positive and negative, and come back to the center. We experience the awful and the awesome. And then we can consult our inner teachers. God meets God in this aliveness. Learning the truth of presence, we have within us teachers of impermanent desert homes with the bounty of harvest before us. So may it be, and amen.